truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Just make sure you keep your voice up so members of the jury can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Monette Ellis.
All right, state you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Monette.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
I'm Monette Ellis.
Um, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, so state, you asked for the vote, and what we are asking for them will be the.
And Judge, there are family members that are going to be, yeah, they get punishment for rule changes. With innocence. I don't anticipate that testimony of officers or crime scene detectives to be relevant to their testimony. They're basically characters that describe Mr. Prado's life. That's basically the projected lyrics of
What is the state's necessity and all the life of Marcus and our meeting about this case? Are the state's witnesses though going to be testifying as to his behavior? And then if they're testifying as to his behavior and how he was acting allegedly on that day, are you not going to call witnesses to potentially seek to explain the behavior?
Well, they know shot two police officers. I saw the news like that out there, and he did this. I'm going to have them talk about how the person was. That's my intention. Character reference that.
So
I don't anticipate using the testimony we did. I mean, that's the street. It's just going to be with that person. I guess it could be a question like found out shot police officer. That shocked. Why? But that nothing relevant to the act.
is there one specific person you're asking to remain important? And state, I don't know if you would object to one specific person.
I think my issue is specifically with this witness. She was married to him, so she can provide some of that same background, or it may be different. But I don't think that the witnesses that he's going to call that are going to testify to their knowledge of him should be allowed to hear her testimony.
The rule is invoked. Anyone who's going to testify is not allowed to sit or hear testimony purposes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we object to that, Judge. I think it's different. That's all.
And the rule is invoked, of course, to anyone who is seeking to testify. Yes, Judge. All right.
Can you give us a minute, Judge? Sure.
I have some, Your Honor, because I'm suffering from coughing.
There's something fun for, we always keep something. Thank you so much. Everyone, we're gonna proceed. You're going to jury in, please. You're going to rest readings too. Okay.
Yes, we're ready. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Monette, you had just told us your name. Where are you from?
Originally from Dilley, Texas.
Could you speak into the mic this one a little bit? It's a little hard.
Originally from Dilley, Texas.
Where's Dilly?
Halfway between here and Laredo.
And are you a little nervous?
A little.
It's okay. Tell us a little bit about your family. Do you have any kids?
I have 3 girls,
Okay, how old are they?
20, 11, and 9.
And who's their father?
Jesus Prado,
And how long have you known Jesus?
22 years.
When did you meet him?
It was the summer of 2001,
And how old would you have been around that time?
16, 15, 16.
Did y'all go to high school together?
He wasn't in high school. So no.
That you knew him at your, I guess, high school age?
Yes.
Okay. And did you guys start having a romantic relationship?
It was friendship at first and then went from there.
And at what point did y'all start seeing each other romantic?
It was in around September of 01.
And how long did y'all date?
We dated up until we got married in September of 2012,
So 11 years?
11 years before we got married.
Okay. And did you have any children in that time?
We had our oldest daughter within that time.
And is that Madison?
Yes.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a medical assistant. I work in an OBGYN office.
And what did Jesus do while you were married or together, I should say?
He did oil field work. He did towing. He worked for a company that rented out heavy machinery. He would haul to job sites.
And you said you got married in 2012?
Yes, ma'am.
And in the, what was it, 22, 21 years you were together all together? Were you happy at times?
Yes, of course.
After you were married, did y'all have more children?
Yes, we had our younger 2 daughters,
And what are their names?
McKinley, Sue, and Malin.
And in 2023, how old were they?
7 and 9.
And tell us a little bit about your marriage, just in general, before we get to 2023.
you know, happy family, just trying to make it in the world. You know, up and down. We had our great times, we had our hard times. Like any normal married couple would, fight over bills, things like that.
But on average, you were happy for a while?
I was very happy for a while. Yes.
Did that change at some point?
Yes.
And what prompted the change?
Life got hard. COVID hit, you know, it affected everybody. And then in 2021, we lost a very important member of our family. And that hit everybody hard.
Who's that?
We lost his brother. And it was very hard for everybody.
And how did that affect your relationship with Jesus?
I was just trying to be there for him, be strong for him as much as I could. But you know, they were very close. It was hard for him. I was just trying to be strong and be the wife that I could for him, but it got too hard.
And so when you say you were trying to be there for him, do you feel like it wasn't working?
I felt like I wasn't doing enough.
How did your relationship with him change?
We lost his brother, and then we were trying to plan a big party for our daughter around the time, and you know, bills are piling up. It was just getting hard. We were fighting a lot of the times over bills, and it got to the point where I was just tired of asking for help, and I felt like I wasn't getting it in return.
Early on in your marriage, was Jesse ever in any accidents?
Yes, very early on when we first got together, he was in an ATV accident. And he was transferred to Wolford Hall. And then in Easter, I don't remember what year, but him and his oldest son were in a very bad car accident, and they bumped heads several times in the accident. And he was in university for a few days.
So the one at Wilford Hall, what were the majority of his injuries in that one?
He had a few broken ribs. He had a burn on his arm because the ATV fell on top of him. The exhaust pipe fell on his arm. I think he had a punctured lung, several broken ribs. I think he was.
And you said that was early on. Was there a decent amount of time in between that accident and the second one?
Yes.
Okay. Like years?
Yes.
Okay. After that first accident, did you ever notice any changes in his personality,
No.
in
No.
his temperament?
No. Besides the normal, you know, fighting about bills here and there.
Sure.
No.
Any changes in his ability to regulate his emotions or control his temper?
No. Not really.
Then after the second accident, the one where he was in with his son, after, I know you said they bumped heads, after he recovered from that one, did you ever notice any changes in his personality?
No.
And do you remember what year that was?
No. Maybe 07, 08.
So like almost 10 years ago. And you never noticed any changes in his ability to regulate his emotions or control his temper after that? So skip ahead to the year that you guys lost his brother. You said that was 21?
I believe it was 21.
Okay. And things started to get difficult between you and your marriage. Was the change between you two Was it related to the stress and anxiety that I guess was going on in y'all's life at the time?
I think it was a whole lot of everything going on.
And so at what point did you decide it's time to call it? This isn't getting any better.
One day we just got into a really bad fight. I was trying to leave for work. He didn't want me to leave. He he went and slapped me, and I just grabbed my keys and I left, and I said I was done.
He slapped you in the face?
Mm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Sorry, if anytime you say it's hard for Cindy to take it down, so we just have to get the verbal answers. Before it got to that point, did you ever ask Jesse to try to do anything to work on y'all's relationship?
I cried for help. I asked for marriage counseling several times. I just wanted a little bit of help. We worked opposite hours. He worked nights, I worked days. But we still had children that we needed to take care of. And I just felt like I was drowning, working full time, coming home, doing homework, finishing up with dinner, bathing the girls, laundry. I begged him for just a little bit of help, and I asked for marriage counseling a couple times, and I know one of the responses was, why do we want to go to counseling if I don't want to talk to him? But I was trying to talk to him. I just felt like I wasn't being heard.
And apart from him declining to go with you to marriage counseling and the slap, well, no, I guess not apart from, but subsequent to that, you said that you left and you were done. And do you remember about what time that was, time of year?
I think that was in January of 23.
Okay. But if we're just looking at the timeline, things started to get difficult between you two sometime around 2021. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And in between 2021 and 2023, did you have an affair?
Yes, unfortunately I did.
Is that something that you're proud of?
It's not my brightest moment, but yes, I stepped out of our marriage.
And do you remember approximately when that was?
November of 22 is when it started.
And so that would have been a year and a half or so after the problems between you guys started.
Yes, ma'am.
And after he had declined marriage counseling.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so was the person that you were having the affair with, was that the reason that you wanted out of your marriage?
No, not at all.
After the slap, what did you do?
I grabbed my keys and I left. And I went to my parents' house, stayed there for a little bit. And I think at that point he realized,
Do you think he realized what?
I don't know at that point if he knew that I was serious, but he was still willing to work on our marriage. At this point is when he wanted to start working on our marriage.
And when you went to your parents that first time, you said this was around January of 23.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you stay gone permanently or did you go back to try again?
I went back to try again, hoping things would change, but they didn't. I know I I started to get a little depressed. Um, I didn't feel like there was any change happening at all. And so I left again and went back to my parents' house.
During this time, did Jesse send you any text messages wherein he threatened to damage y'all's property?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Sheriff?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and ask if you recognize State's Exhibit 1.
Yes.
What is State's Exhibit 1?
Text messages, back and forth
Between,
between me and Jesse.
and does State's Exhibit 1 reflect a time frame of when these text messages are taking place?
Yes.
What's the time frame?
They started, January 13th of 23.
And is State's Exhibit 1 a fair and accurate screenshot of this portion of the text exchange between you and Jesse Prado?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we'd like to offer into evidence State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No objection.
State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted without objection.
May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah, it is now. Sorry. Okay. Can you see this on the screen in front of you, Minette?
Yes.
Okay. The top message on State's Exhibit 1, is that from Jesse to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is Jesse telling you?
We need to put the house on the market, before he burns the bitch down.
And what is your response to him?
Told him to please stop.
And what did he say in response to that?
Like I said, I'm not going to be your roommate. I'm just ready to get this over with, tired of the lollygagging.
Okay. And then the next message after that, is that in relation to your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. Our oldest daughter.
And then after he's told you, I guess somewhat angrily with the exclamation points, that he wants to burn the house down, what does he say at 8:17 a.m. the next day?
He doesn't want a divorce. He meant his vows taken 10 years ago, but he meant his vows.
And then what does he say a little further down?
You're cold-blooded. Who are you leaving me for? I'm really thinking about burning the bitch down, real talk.
So in this text message, he goes from talking about burning the house down to telling you he doesn't want a divorce to talking about burning the house down again. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That kind of back and forth, him lashing out, asking you for something, I guess, changing his temperament back and forth. Was that common in your communication after you let him know that you were done in the marriage?
Yes.
So how long were you back home before you decided this isn't the same? We're not gonna be able to fix this, before you decided to move out for good?
Maybe about a week. A little over a week.
Okay. So at the end of that month, in January 29, did something else happen between you and Jesse that concerned you?
Yes.
What was that?
And she told me that he had locked himself in our bedroom, in his bedroom, and just yelling F-bomb at the top of his lungs. And so I had called it in just to do a welfare check. But
And that was, you had been at the house and y'all were fighting, and then when you left, is that what he did? He locked himself in the bedroom?
yes.
And so at what point did you make him aware that you wanted a divorce?
I filed for divorce March 2nd of 23.
Did you move out for good before that?
Yes.
Okay.
I moved out the middle of February of 23.
Okay. And did you go back to your parents at that
I
point?
went back to my parents.
And I guess just for the record, I haven't done it yet, but do you see the person that you knew as Jesus Prado here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and identify him by an article of clothing?
Right there in the suit.
There's a few people in the suit. Anything else you could be more specific?
White shirt, suit.
Okay. May the record reflect she's identified the defendant, Your Honor. Okay. So when you moved out, you went to your parents. Where did your younger daughters go?
Our younger two came with me. And our oldest daughter stayed with him at the house. I let her stay because she has her own routine. She was taking care of the dog. You know, she's in high school. She's very independent.
And what was the arrangement that y'all had come to as far as how you were going to share custody of the girls until the divorce was final?
It was kind of back and forth for a little bit. We finally had come up with a verbal agreement that the girls, the two little ones, would go to our neighbor's house after school. And he would pick them up until I got off of work, and then I would pick them up from him.
And so you were equally trying to spend time with the girls.
Yes.
And when you moved out and said you wanted a divorce, you weren't trying to take the girls from him.
No, never. Never.
And do you remember the address of that home that you used to live at with him?
Yes.
What was that address?
6239 Alta Puerta.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 2 for identification purposes and ask if you recognize State's Exhibit 2.
Yes.
What is State's Exhibit 2?
It's an aerial view of our community.
And do you see your address on that aerial view?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of your community?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would like to offer evidence State's Exhibit 2.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 2 is admitted without objection.
And Your Honor, the state has an exact duplicate of State's Exhibit 2 for demonstrative purposes that we'd like to offer as State's 2A for demonstrative purposes.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, you may proceed.
So, right now, I'm just gonna. So when you moved out, what was the plan with the house? Were you both on the mortgage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What was the plan with the house?
We were kind of back and forth with it. I knew I couldn't afford it on my own, so I had wanted him to stay in it as long as possible. But I know realistically we should have just put the house on the market. It was just a bunch of back and forth because he was still trying to work on the marriage. And that's why he didn't want to put it on the market.
Did you try to make it clear to him that you weren't interested anymore in staying in the marriage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And for that time between March and when this happened in October, was that a lot of conversations that y'all would have?
Yes, ma'am.
So how was your relationship with him in that time? Besides those arguing about whether your divorce is going to proceed or not, was the co-parenting going okay? Were y'all getting along well otherwise, or how was that?
For the most part, it went okay. I was trying to work with him as much as I could. Um, it worked for a little bit. I think because it would go okay for a little bit, but then I guess he would get too comfortable and I wasn't submitting to him like he wanted me to, and he would just get angry again.
So let's move to October of 2023. Do you remember having a text exchange as well as phone calls back and forth between you and Jesse the night before this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the jury a little bit about how that started, if you remember.
Text messages started late at night on the 18th. Back and forth, calling me several times, asking me asked me where the guy lived that I had the affair with. I couldn't remember. I don't know where he moved to. He didn't believe me. It was just a bunch of back and forth text messages and phone calls.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as states exhibits 3 through 8. You to just look through those and see if you recognize them.
Yeah.
And what are states exhibits 3 through 8?
Text messages between me and Jesse,
Around that time frame we were talking about, October 18th and
October
19th
18th and 19th. Yes, ma'am.
of 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And apart from the redactions that were made to comply with the rules of evidence, are states exhibits 3 through 8 are an accurate copy of your text with Jesse?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, state would offer into evidence states 3 through 8.
Other than previous objections, any objections to states 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8?
Just our comments at the bench bar judges, they're our only.
All right, so states exhibits 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be admitted.
May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm gonna start with 3. Yeah. Now, a minute ago, you were talking about how the calls and the texts on the night of the 18th had to do with him asking where the guy that you had been seeing lived. Is that what we're seeing in the top of States Exhibit 3?
Yes.
And when you tell him you don't know where he lives, what was Jesse's response?
He kept asking me over and over why I did it and just tell me where he lives. I told him I don't know. And he says, answer.
And then the next morning, do the text messages and calls begin again?
Yes.
And actually, before we talk about the next morning, do you remember on the night of the 18th, were there calls beyond just the text messages?
Yes.
And tell the jury a little bit about those phone calls.
Very angry, back and forth, phone calls. He wanted to know where he lived. I truly couldn't answer him because I didn't know. At one point, because I didn't know, at one point he made the comment, "What would you do if I had a gun to Madison's head right now?" And I told him to stop.
Did you know Jesse to have guns in the house?
Yes,
Did he have a lot of guns in the house?
he had a few. I couldn't tell you how many, but
Did you know Jesse in your relationship to be familiar with and use guns often?
yes, he played paintball all the time. We grew up in a small town, so he would always go out hunting.
Did he build rifles as a hobby?
Sometimes, yes.
And when you all were living together with your 3 daughters in the home, would he keep guns in the home?
Yes.
Would he lock them up?
No,
And did you ever ask him to?
I did. Because the 2 little ones were little. I would ask him to, and he said no. He needed easy access for protection in case anything happened. In case like a break-in or something.
Now, after he made the comment about what would you do if I had a gun to Madison's head right now, how did you react?
I told him to stop.